do your logo in Photoshop this year, I would like you to go into your folder, open up inside your logo folder the scan that I've done for you. You're going to go to Photoshop, right click, open with Photoshop. Now once this opens up, here's how we're going to handle this. First, you're going to do Command 0 on your keyboard, or View, Fit on Screen, Command 0. Now once there, some of yours, just so you know, might be rotated like this. Just remember, just go to Image, Image Rotation, clockwise or counterclockwise, depending on how yours is set up. At that point, we're going to go down to, I'm going to just kind of reset Essentials here, and I'm also going to Window Application Frame, kind of pop that out. All right, so you see here in your Layers panel, I'll pull that out so we can see it a little better. What I would like you to do first is click on the Create New Fill Layer, go to Solid Color. Now from there, we're going to choose White. I'm going to hit OK. I want you to take that and bring it underneath this background. Now you'll notice that when I try to do it there, it blocks me from doing it because you need to go to your background first, double click, hit OK, that will unlock the layer, and then you can take this white color fill layer and pull it underneath. Now once you've done that, the color fill of white should be under. We're going to hit the lock button to OK it. Go back to layer 0 here. This one we're going to bring down the opacity a bit so you can see through it. I'm going to bring this one down all the way to 36. Yours might only be to 50 or 60, but each one's a little bit different. All right, so from there, I'm going to then lock it with the lock button. So both of these layers are now locked. Then what I want you to do is go over to your toolbar here on the side. First, what I want to just show you is this tool right here where it says ellipse. I'm going to right click and get rectangle, rounded rectangle, ellipse, polygon, line, and custom shape. Now here are how these work. I'm just going to choose the rectangle tool just to show you. Now, up at the top where the options bar is, please select shape. Now the fill is what's going to be filled in the center, and the stroke is almost like that frame around it. So for example, I'm going to choose here, I'll choose blue, and I will also choose a stroke of, let's say, yellow, and I'll make the stroke a little bit larger, let's say 0.66. Okay, now what I'm going to do is click and drag. Now once I've clicked and dragged, you'll see a properties box automatically comes up, and you'll also notice here in my layers that a new layer has automatically been made for me. Here you can still, you see it's selected on it, you can still adjust the settings here, so I can change this way the stroke looks, I can change the thickness of it, the edges of it, the ends of it, all kinds of things can be changed here. But the reason that we use this tool is if you go right above it here on the toolbar, you'll see a path select in black, which allows you to move the shape. But then if you right click and use the direct selection tool, that one allows you to click individual points and move the individual points, as you can see there. You can move the individual point, you can move the line. If you hold shift, you can grab 2 points or more, and you can move both points at once. The fill remains, the layer stays the same, and you're able to change the shape. If you go up a little bit, you will see the pen tool with an add anchor point and a delete anchor point and a convert point tool. If you go to the add anchor point and you click on the line, you can add as many of these anchor points as you would like to the line. And then with that white arrow direct selection tool, you can click on any of these and you can move them. You'll notice that as I move them, they form little handlebars. If I click and I pull on the handlebars, you notice that both handlebars move at the same time. Again, I can pull the line, I can pull the anchor point, I can move the handlebars. If I delete points on the line, obviously the points disappear and you see the line changes. If I use the convert point tool, I can pull on a point and turn it into a curve. If I click on it again, it goes back to a point. So if I clicked on all of them, you'll see I would end up with a very geometric looking shape. Okay, so now we know how the add point, the delete point, and the convert point tool works. Also with the convert point tool, just one other thing, if you pull and you make a rounded edge to something, you can now move one handlebar at a time with the convert point tool instead of both handlebars moving at the same time. All right, I used the rectangle tool before. There are other shapes. There's also custom shapes here. Up at the top, you'll see a list. If you click here and you click all, you can add them all. I already did that, so you can see a whole bunch of shapes. And basically, you can go onto any shape, click on it. I'll use this diamond as an example, and you can click and drag. And there's another layer that pops up. Same stroke and fill, everything's the same, and I can change the properties of it and do whatever I like to it, okay? Same exact idea, starting with the basic shape. Now, I'm gonna get rid of these two layers. I'm gonna select both and just hit delete. And we're gonna look at two more tools, the pen tool and the freeform pen tool. Now, the freeform pen tool, same thing at the top, keep it as a shape, fill, I'm gonna keep the stroke and fill the same for right now. And now you can draw any shape you want. So I could draw, like for example, if I was drawing this, I could go like this. And try to keep my hand steady and draw this as best I could, right? And I could do the whole thing. I'm only going to do half of it for right now, but you would do the whole thing if you were completing this and trying to redraw it here in Photoshop. And then when I get back to where I started, you'll see a little circle pops up. You let go, there's that piece. Now what could you do? Well, you could take the direct selection tool, click on this piece, click on the edge, reshape it, move the points wherever they are supposed to be if I messed up at all. Move them around a little bit. You'll also notice that any spot where you can get rid of a point will make it less bumpy. Like you notice there's a point right here. I probably don't need that point. So if I delete anchor point and click on it, I'm able to get the same line if I just move the handlebars a little bit, kind of move it back into shape, pull it, perfect. And now you can see it's smoother. The less points you have, the smoother the line will eventually be. Now you might have to play with it to get it the way that you really want it to be, but the less points, the better generally. All right, so that's how you use the freeform pen tool. Most students like to use that in the beginning as they start working. I'm going to get rid of that for a moment and just show you the last one, which is the regular pen tool. Now here's how this works. I would generally start the regular pen tool with a no fill and a no stroke. So watch, and we'll zoom in a little bit better so you can see. I'll pull this down a little bit. Okay, I'm going to move the properties box out of the way, and here's how I would begin. I'm going to click once, and then click again, let go, click again, let go. So you see it's just straight line, straight line. So when you click with the regular pen tool, it makes a straight line from point to point. If this starts to curve though, you can go either to about the middle of the curve, click and pull. You see I'm pulling with the mouse here. I'm not letting go until that line matches up. A lot of students pull too far too quickly. Just go slowly with it until it matches up, and then let go. Go to the top corner, click and pull, same thing. Now the only little thing to remember at this point is the next point's going back down, right? It's not going up still that way, it's coming down this way. So when I get to about here, I hold Option on my keyboard, and now I tell it where I want to go, which is back down that way. I let go of the Option. Now I can probably go to about the middle of the line, or I could probably go even down to here. Click and pull till the line matches up. Now I'm not going to let go yet. I have to hold Option. Back this way, let go, and continue. Option again. Come back down. Now you kind of go as you need, and you'll get used to it, and you'll get better with it as you go. I'm going to go quickly here. Option, click, pull, Option, click, click. Now these are just straight lines, so I'm just click, click, click. Now here it curves again, so click, pull, Option, click, pull, Option. So this is a little bit more advanced, right? But you can use any tool that you feel comfortable with. You can use the freeform pen tool that we just looked at, that's fine, and then back up to where you started. All right, and then go up to the top, choose a fill it in. You can see what it looks like from kind of a little further away here. All right, now all these other little shapes that are on here, what I would do is hide this layer and then create these other shapes that are on here. So I could use the basic shape tool like ellipse. I could create a perfect ellipse here. I could change the color of that ellipse. I could take this one, do it again, or even copy this layer and move one over here. I could make a smaller one with a smaller circle like this. Maybe I give that black as my color. Remember, you can do Command T, free transform, and you can turn it a little bit. Move it up. I could copy this one. I could do Command T, flip it. That all looks good. And then I put the M back on, and you can see it shows up on top now. So as you do each piece, even these, freeform pen tool, you can draw these little spikes. Right? And then what do? You take that layer and you pull it underneath the M. So you can see from far away, you're able to really get this pretty quickly. Give you an example of one that's a little further along here for the same thing. You can see as I draw them, you see all the shapes that pop up on the side. Same exact thing. Every piece is just a separate shape, just on a different layer. So you just take it one step at a time. If you want to use any text, you can use the text tool. You can click, you can type in a letter. Once you type in the letter, you can highlight it, change the font to whatever you'd like it to be. Once you have the font changed, just like in our last project, you can right-click and rasterize, but you can also convert to a shape. And if you convert it to a shape, you'll notice it turns into points, which means that you can now take the direct selection tool, go right onto this, and individually move points and customize that letter. You could also delete points or add points at this point. Okay, all right. And you can use these anywhere you want within your project. You can move this down, you could do Command T, you could rotate, you could resize. All of that is an option for you. All right, come see me if you need any help or if the video is confusing in any way. We will go through the steps together in class.